Hello and welcome to episode 60 of IOnTheTigers, a podcast all about the National Ice Hockey League, but one that always has an eye on the Telford Tigers. This week, be the usual, we've got results, we've got predictions, but before that we've got movement. Yes, I know 1 week has been played, arguably 2, but there's movement already. We'll start off with the Tigers. So we announced, I say we, but Tigers have announced the return of Corey Goodison on a short-term contract to give us an extra body in defence. Fantastic news. An outstanding defenseman. Yeah, there's kind of like nothing more that I can say really, other than I know it's a short-term one, but if it could become something longer, I think it would really only benefit the Tigers. If massive if obviously, but if for this season, we've got Rhodes Mitchell-King, Corey Goodison, Danny Rose returns. Put that in with the job that Dick Fielder, Jake Price, Ryan Leese are all doing. Noah Karanainen as well has made a really good start. I mean, that'd be pretty good, and I'd be pretty happy there. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, welcome back, Corey. Great to have you as part of the team. Long been a favourite of mine. A really strong player, as you can probably tell from the own loan from a few seasons back. Just great to see him back in Tigers colours. And as I say, my only hope is that it does become longer than just short term. Not the only move though. So things have been moving apace at Hull as well. We have the first non-British trained player of the season who has left. So Caden Hannes has left and was then replaced just a couple of hours later by Johnny Corneal, who came in on a season-long loan from Manchester Storm. 2 games for Hannes, got 6 points in that time, if I remember correctly, but he's been replaced. Let's see how it works out. I mean, that is a pretty bold call, I would say, early on in the season. But I mean, realistically, if Corneal stacks up points, nobody's going to be sort of questioning it. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that one unfolds. And then one pretty much hot off the press, saw this, about 25 minutes ago. So prior just to recording, was news from Bristol. So Finn Page has left the Bristol Pit Bulls. Was on a 2-way with, I think it was Fife Flyers, I saw. So be interesting to see if he plays for them on a full-time basis or whether he signs 2-way with another team. So perhaps watch this space on that one. Of course, always aware this is Monday evening. By the time this comes out Tuesday evening, we could know where he's gone to, but for the moment, watch this space. So that's the comings and goings across the first week of the league, but let's get into week 2 results. So we'll kick off with the Tigers travelling up to Hull to take on the Seahawks. Finished 8-4 to the Seahawks. By the sounds of things, a bit of an implosion in the second, where we shipped, I think it was 4 goals in sort of next to no time at all, and then realistically, we're just sort of playing out the minutes, I guess, to a certain extent. So not ideal. Always going to be tough to go up to Hull. I think they've got a really strong team in place this season. I know we had some really good results against Hull last season. In fact, arguably we were probably their bogey team, but was not to be in the first trip up to Hull this season. In terms of the other games, well, it was interesting across Saturday night. So Lightning hosted the Steel Dogs, and Lightning won it 5-4 on penalty shots. Perhaps a sign of what the Steel Dogs are capable of. Wildcats took on the Sharks. The Sharks took a 2-0 lead, but that was as good as it got, as the Wildcats scored 6 unanswered to win 6-2. Phantoms hosted the Bees. Perhaps a touch closer than people would have expected, certainly a bit closer than I expected. It finished 4-3 to the Phantoms, and again, that was a shootout victory. And then last but not least, Bristol hosted Leeds Knights. No surprise in the results, perhaps a little bit in the scoreline though, as it finished Pitbulls 0, Knights 7. So a shutout on the road there for the Knights. Harrison Walker there got the nod start ahead of Sam Gospel in that game. Sunday night, Tigers hosted the Knights. It seems that we had a really good second period. Got it back to 4-4. Leeds made it 5-4 and then an empty net goal right at the end. Certainly everything I have read is it was a much improved performance. And in fact, if we can play like that every week, we're going to win a lot of games. So hopefully a sign of things to come there for the Tigers. Long may that continue quite simply. Raiders hosted the Phantoms. Went the way of the Raiders. They scored the odd goal in 7, winning 4-3. A little bit of a surprise result. It's perhaps been a little bit of a slow start from the Phantoms, perhaps. I mean, can't say too much, obviously, because the Tigers have yet to pick up a point. But, maybe we would expect the Phantoms to have got a win in that one. Bees hosted the Wildcats. That one finished Bees 1, Wildcats 3. So a 4-point weekend there for the Wildcats. Sharks hosted the Seahawks. Another game that went to penalty shots. Seahawks winning 4-3 after the penalty shots in the end. Plenty of them around this weekend. Perhaps a sign of how tight the league could very well be this year. And then last but certainly not least, Steel Dogs. They hosted the Pitbulls. It was all going to plan for the Steel Dogs until it wasn't. And it finished up Steel Dogs 3, Pitbulls 5. Certainly the surprise result of the weekend for me there. Pitbulls played both their games with De La Batouche in goal. No sign of Tommy Napier. Interesting. Bringing a non-British trained netminder and doesn't play a whole weekend. Interesting. So maybe we'll see what happens there. So that was the results, and those results mean that unfortunately it is Tigers who are the only team who've yet to get a point on the board. Although by the sounds of things, the performance against Leeds was anything to go by. That should soon be changing. Before we go on to preview for the upcoming weekend in the National League, we'll just catch up on Tigers 2. So on Saturday night, Tigers 2 hosted Nottingham Lions 2 in, I think, what can really only be described as a bit of a goal fest. Finished Tigers 2 14, Lions 2 5. It seemed a bit of a crazy game, sort of following it on Twitter. X. 4-0 lead at the end of the first, soon became 4-3, and then, goals just continued. Sunday night, Tigers 2 travelled up to the Sheffield Titans. This one, again, reasonable number of goals, but I was going to say perhaps a more comprehensive victory. I mean, scoring 14 is pretty comprehensive, but no, it did finish Titans 0, Tigers 2 8. So a shutout on the road there for Tigers 2, make it 3 wins from 3. Special shout out as well to Oli Hunt, who against the Titans, nearly said the Tigers, but against the Titans got his 200th point for the club. So congrats, Oli Hunt, and here's to the next couple hundred as well, with any luck. National League this coming weekend. Let's run through the fixtures. So Saturday, Sharks host the Tigers. We're going to get a point on the board. It's going to at least go to overtime. Touch the penalty shots. If we get anything from there, anything further from there, who knows? Obviously, I do like to make a prediction. So, Tigers are going to win it in overtime or on penalty shots. Hopefully. No, I'm going to go for that for prediction. Steel Dogs host the Phantoms. I'm going to go for the Steel Dogs to win that one. I think they're going to be determined to bounce back after having lost to the Pitbulls. So, I'll go for the Steel Dogs winning that one. Wildcats host the Knights. This looks a really interesting fixture. In fact, probably going to go as far as my fixture of the weekend. I will go for the Knights to win that one, though. I think they're going to have too much for Swindon. Pitbulls host the Raiders. Fancy the Raiders to win that one. And then Bees host the Lightning to win that one. Sunday night, Tigers host the Bees. Tigers to win. They're going to do it in regulation as well. Tigers to win that one. Phantoms host the Wildcats. It's going to be tight. It's going to be nervy. It's perhaps going to be a little bit edgy, but the Wildcats to shade it. Wouldn't be surprised at all to see that one go to penalty shots. Lightning host the Sharks. Lightning are going to win it, but the Sharks are going to give them a game. I can see that one being settled by perhaps the odd goal. Yeah, should be a good and tight game. Raiders host the Seahawks. Raiders have looked good at home, but with the offensive power that Hull have got, I fancy Hull to get a win on the road. And then last but not least, Knights host the Pitbulls. Knights to win that one. So, that concludes this episode. We've taken a look at the movings across the league. We've recapped on the results, including for Tigers 2, and we've looked ahead to the upcoming week. As always, anything you want to let me know about, why you disagree with predictions, where you could potentially see, I don't know, Finn Page going, or latest player to leave a club, get in contact. Let me know if you want to come on as a guest of the show and talk about your team. Just drop me a message, let me know. But say, that covers this episode. I'll be back this time next week. Bye for now.